Hi, John Larson here. I'm doing a quick one take on what I use to power my fridge in camp on the Rubicon. One of the things that I ran into last year is I kind of migrated from using my whole giant collection of coolers that I collect was to start using one of these cheap like $200 Vebor 12 volt fridges. I actually I bought a little too small when I'm trying to fit 3 people in this Jeep. Well, usually me and a co-pilot with someone walking, and I throw the third person's walking stuff all the way, like pile it up top here on one of the racks. Anyways, so using the larger fridge, the 55 quart Vebor, this little Jackery 290 that is actually, the 120 volt is broken. I got it on eBay. It was like a pawn shop that sold it to me. They didn't say it was broken. I tried to return it. They were kind of weird about it. I think they refunded like $20 or $40. But the 12 volt still works. So when I get to camp, I know that I can get about 22 hours of charge out of this thing. So what we do if we're out like not wheeling for a day and we're hanging out somewhere, hanging out at Buck or hanging out on at Springs or something, what I'll do is I'll plug in the fridge into this thing, and then at the same time it'll kind of sit like right over here. I have a little spot in the back seat, and I'll plug in the solar panel and like throw it on the roof and try to angle it to get better solar. That'll indefinitely run. I think we had one trip. It ran the fridge for 3 days straight, like camped out on the Rubicon. I was super impressed. You don't need like a giant power source. Also, one of the reasons behind it, if you're wondering why I have all these, like I have all these different Jackeries, because I think I have the 500 that I don't really bring as much anymore. I actually have a 300 I just got on Black Friday. I actually bring this 300 for my CPAP, and I bring the 290 for the fridge. And this was like, what, $100 on eBay, and this was $200 on Black Friday. The reasoning for the selection is I have other rigs. So I have a Wrangler kind of right here behind me. And I also have a Wagoneer that I use. And the issue is I didn't want to put like dual batteries in every rig. And honestly, even a regular like car battery, 55 amp hours, you only get like half use anyways. So I don't even think a dual battery setup would have worked. Plus I'd be running like maybe a 50-foot extension cord from my Jeep. So I mean, this really did seem like a fairly inexpensive solution to, I guess, to powering the fridge. And I'm actually surprised personally that I'm actually really surprised that little 290 will actually power the fridge that long. And I didn't just go out to the Rubicon and run it. I actually did a bunch of testing here in the garage to where I would just come out here in the middle of the summer before I head out, got that thing on eBay, ran it in the garage, and came out like every 8 hours and just wrote down like the percentage of battery left. And I just kept doing that. And then I did it with like the 500. And I still can't believe it would go overnight, and it would go about 22 to 24 hours. And I think the reason is the fridges don't run full time. The compressors over here, they cycle on and off, and you could see on the Jackery, it'll go down to like 0% or 0 watts, and then it'll go to like 5 watts, and then it'll go to 50. And on eco mode, it'll overshoot the temperature and then turn it off. And so the compressor's off and it cools all the way back down to, or I guess warms up to whatever, 35 degrees, and then it'll turn back on and go to like 27. And so anyways, I'm surprised it works. I hope it helps someone else figure out maybe a solution if you have multiple Jeeps and you don't want to do dual batteries in every single rig to power a fridge and a CPAP machine. Anyways, go wheel, like, follow, subscribe, and if you can, give me a thumbs up as well, whatever. I think commenting is one of the coolest things because I do like those little conversations down there. People are asking some questions about the death wobble issue on the JL. I'm actually going to do a more consolidated JL death wobble video, so stay tuned for that. Thanks, guys.